Hello and welcome back to Rugby Rodeo. It is me, Emma Swords, and I'm joined with my friend, my dear teammate, Sara Svoboda. And this week is pretty special because we are joined by one half. Is she the better half? I don't know. Sorry, Alex. One half of the original Rugby Rodeo chicks, Jess Breach, our little 50 capper for the Red Roses. Congratulations, Jessie. How the dickens are you?
So good to be home.
Amongst the studio.
I know. I feel like I missed you all so much. Sorry, that is the listeners and obviously you two. I have been listening to the podcast. Before we actually started recording, I was saying, can I do the intro? But that got shot down. But I have been listening to Boda's intro, and I do think that she is probably doing a better job than I have ever done. So
I don't know about that, girl.
you guys are just chatting shit like me and Ellie chat shit, and I think that's what the whole podcast is about, really.
This is very true.
Just a different accent in the mix.
Yeah, exactly. Talk about some rugby and then just go with the flow, really.
Go with the flow.
Yeah.
So in terms of going with the flow, that's what girls do best. But what you girls have been doing best, your game day hair, your glam, your TikToks, like we are setting trends. You and Zoe are clearly, can I use the word collabing?
You can use the word
topic.
collabing.
Collabing on your hair. Who's doing the hair? It looks unbelievable.
Yeah, we get braid maidens come in, so big shout out to braid maidens from St Albans actually, and they travel basically on game day to wherever we are, and there's like 3 of them, and there's a schedule that goes out, and people then book in what time they want for their hair to be plaited, and then they're fantastic, and they do a really good job. Like, it's a free facelift, like a bit of Botox free Botox doesn't go amiss with the plaits. And I think mine and Zoe's hairstyle is probably the most popular choice of hairstyle.
Was that, I think, because you started that trend? Or
obviously, obviously. But we do have our ponytails really high. But should I tell you what? They are the best slick back ponytail makers I've ever had in my life.
They do the ponytail as well?
They do the ponytail as well. That's the best bit. Yeah.
That is next level service. Because usually you get the braids, in prem, and your braider does an amazing job. They leave you. They're like, thank God I had to brush through that monstrosity. See ya. Yeah. And then it's your job to slick the rest. But if you're getting taken care of,
that's when you know you've made it. This is
that
when
is
you know you've made it.
And you're
Someone
not
is doing
making
the
your own
pony on a rugby day.
Proper get the back, like
that's the worst.
They get the comb right through there, put the gel. It's amazing.
Do they bring like a lookbook of like, this is what I have in my locker?
No, they bring all the equipment. So they have the gel, they have the hairspray, they have the hair bands, they have the hair ties, they have every comb under the sun. They also have different color hair ties depending on like what kit we're in.
This is just next level.
They are elite. Yeah,
they've smashed it. And
but we do our own makeup. We don't have makeup artists coming in to do our.
I mean, that would be a little stretch, wouldn't it?
A girl can dream.
Yeah.
So it was obviously a huge week for you, 50 caps, and I don't know if you did Zoe send you my like congrats video?
Yeah,
fine.
When you were typing away,
yeah, obviously. And for the listeners, I said only Jess Breach could orchestrate her 50th cap being in her hometown. Like, I am going to have the crowd that I deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Premeditated.
So all my friends and family can come.
Yeah, it's only 40 minutes away. I actually feel like I'm in a special club because Skaz got to get Emily Scarrett got to get her 100th cap at Leicester, which is obviously where she's from. So I feel like I'm part of like this special club that have a landmark occasion within like the town, city, county that like you're from. It was really nice. It was such a nice week. I felt really refreshed being by the beach, being by the sea. Obviously like the arcades are there on the pier, there's the lane shopping. So I think everyone felt really good that week. It's so nice that wherever we are, like even not on game day, like people are saying good luck, like we're so excited to come and watch you. So you can feel that like movement and the momentum that like the World Cup's doing within like the cities that are hosting the games, which I just think is really, really nice. And like they're not overbearing, like they come and be like, oh, like good luck, like I know you're having like your hot chocolate or like your downtime. But we just want to say like good luck, and you know, if there are younger girls and boys, they like do ask for a photo. But it's just I think it's really nice to see that it's not just on game day, like people are actually making weekends of it, or just like supporting us like wherever we go, really.
I think like because obviously you guys are in such a bubble of camp life, from an outsider's point of view, I mean, I work in a sleepy little gym in Godalming, but people are talking about it, and there is such a hype around this. Maybe it is because I'm in rugby, so they feel that common connection there and they want to talk about it. But you guys are definitely paving a huge path for the rest of the country and / the world.
Yeah, it's really nice as well because like this year all the buses are branded, so like you get like the people like obviously giving like a hoot, which is nice, or like waving out the window, which I just think is really nice as well, that people know, do you know what I mean, and they just like obviously want to be like hi, which is cute.
Such good energy. And then obviously, Jess, you're talking about how you can build on that, especially being from where you're from and getting to step out. But how are you feeling? Me and Swordsy on the other side of the field, we see you lining up in the tunnel by yourself. Rugby's a big team sport. It's all about doing it for the girls, team first, but you get the opportunity to run out first. We see your Instagram post, your sassy little pout when you were out there. What was going through your head, and what was that moment like for you?
Honestly, I have said it. I said it after the game in an interview. It is the most daunting, awkward thing ever. Like no one teaches you that. Like no one says what you're meant to do, or no. Like I was in the changing room and I was like, oh, what do you do? Like I said to Ellie, I was like, what did you do? She was like, I just walked out. And I was like, oh, you walk? And she was like, well, I think so. And then I was like, what are you meant to do? And then Alex was like, obviously she was our captain for that game, and she was like, oh, come on, Jess. And I was then waiting in the tunnel, obviously, you could see I was swaying. But again, like, who do I look at that gives me the, off you go, like, you go. And there was just a guy with headphones on, and he was like giving me like the little like, come on. And I was like, all right, okay, that's my time. And then, walked out, and it's obviously an amazing thing, but in the moment you're like, oh my god, what am I meant to do? Like, who am I meant to look at? Where am I meant to stand?
Could have used a bit of like choreography to make you feel a little bit more settled.
I needed Rita Order's dancers to help me choreograph how to get out there. But it was just so awkward, and then I felt like it was like 5 minutes that I was waiting for the rest of the team.
They left you out there a little while, didn't they?
Wasn't it? I thought they were pulling a little pranky, and I was like, come on, please, come on.
It will just be Jess versus Australia. Thank you very much.
And then like I think Ellie was like, oh, just give the fans a little wave. So obviously then I'm like, do this like little awkward like, hi. And then
thank you for coming.
Yeah, I was like, hi guys, thanks for coming. But it was hella awkward, but obviously it was an amazing thing, and like I could really feel the crowd like
I got
behind
my
me.
tingles. I was like,
did you get a second to like feel kind of like the kind of gravity of that situation of like, wow, they like all these people have their eyes on me. I'm about to take on this, huge game with my team. I'm in an environment that is so comfortable to me, and like you're saying, I'm joining that crew of girls that have that ability to play such a important game in an environment that they grew up in. Like, did the weight of that situation hit you, or are you just kind of like, what do I do? Do I keep waving? Like, how did you kind of feel in that moment?
I think I felt the crowd and I like noticed them, but I do think I was a bit awkward. I was like, hey, can everyone else come out now? Like, I don't know. I think if you like really know me, I'm not one for like big center attention. Like, I really wouldn't like 30,000 people looking at me for like 5 minutes. I don't really think many people would. But no, I definitely felt it. Felt obviously all the crowd, and then it was actually nice seeing the girls then walk out. Like, that was nice, and I think they all like obviously were really like smiley and happy. Meg did say something like, oh, you're standing in the wrong place, and I thought, oh, you know what, mate,
that is the first person I would guess to say that, honestly.
Yeah, I was like, tell me where I meant to stand. Do you know what I mean?
I'd be like, no, I tell you where to stand.
Yeah. I was like, come on, get beside me. Come on, it's my day, not yours.
Yeah.
And then you started the game with the first try.
Yeah.
Woo-woo.
Yeah.
What a way to do it.
Yeah, which
thank you, Zoe.
Yeah, thanks, Zoe.
She is listening.
She is listening, but it's not listening, Emma. You know probably what she's doing.
Exactly. Yeah. Videos, scrolling. I get it.
Yeah, no, that was really special. I think, like, again, at the time, like, I didn't realise that I'd opened the score up for us. Like, again, it's something that you look back on and go, oh, that's pretty cool to score, like, the first try in the game for the Red Roses, like, in my hometown, like, on my 50th. That was really special. You know, who's to say it was a forward pass or not? You know, it counted.
You
so
know
it
what?
doesn't
We're
matter.
seeing a lot of them, Jess. This, you know, like, are they?
Everybody and their dog is a ref all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, get it, Boda. You say it louder for the people in the back. But yeah, no, it was pretty special. Obviously, like, Australia came at us. They needed to score points. They obviously wanted to get through to the quarterfinals, and I think, like, we definitely weathered a storm. Defensively, like, I think that's what we wanted to put on the game, like a really good defensive performance. And then obviously we got some, like, points on the board, so the scoreline probably doesn't give the game, like, good justice, I think, for Australia. Like, they definitely did bring it to us.
Yeah,
I think we were noticing that how strong their 15 Caitlin Hulse was at, or how strong her performance was in kind of pinning you guys in your half. Like, how did that feel? Obviously, you're a back three player. You and Ellie have to kind of weather that, and you guys did come out the other side of it. But how was kind of being pinned under that pressure for a while? How did you guys?
All I can say was it was good that we had half time.
Yes.
Breaks sometimes come at the perfect moment.
It was good that we had some half time and we got, like, different eyes on the perspective. And I think we went out then in the second half with a different plan for the backfield.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, they challenged us in that area. They'd done their analysis probably. And, like, good on them, really. Like, they needed to get in those areas, and they achieved that with their 50-22s.
And I guess, like, it was a physical game as well. Like, I think Australia were super pumped up to try and make a statement. And in that, you know, we saw Ellie taken off the pitch, and as well as Hannah Bottoman. I guess moving forward into these next crucial games, is everything good in camp? Like, how is the team feeling going into it?
Yeah, the team's really good. Obviously, we've made a statement about Ellie not being fit for the quarterfinals. And I think she just needs to get ready. Like, she's doing really well.
Good.
And same with Hannah, really, like, doing really well. And I think, like, that's the whole point of a squad of 32. Everyone needs to be ready and be ready to be called upon if needed. And I think we train really well throughout the week. And I think, you know, anyone can play in the 1 to 23, like, jerseys, that the position that they're in. And I think that's the fortunate position that we're in England, that everyone pushes to get that starting shirt or that Super 8 bench position. And I think that's really important. And obviously we've got a fantastic medical team, and we're going to be in a good stead. And hopefully they'll both have a full recovery.
Absolutely.
Great to hear.
Last little bits, I guess, that we want to know what you girls have been up to outside of the touchlines.
Little BTS.
Yeah. BTS, obviously. Not not below the shoulder.
Yeah, not below the shoulder.
Other one.
What other activities have you girls been up to, and what have you loved doing?
We've been doing a lot of, like, recovery. Like, a lot of places have been doing saunas and, like, cold plunges, which is obviously super good for recovery. And I think team bond, it's really nice. I think you can just sit peacefully in a sauna, and then obviously jump into a cold little ice bath. A lot of the girls obviously went shopping in Brighton. We had a drag queen come into Brighton, which was super fun. Yeah, it was so fun. It was just really nice. Like, I think it allowed everyone to, like, switch off and have a bit of a laugh, which was really, really nice. Tonight, after this call, I'm going to be going out for dinner.
Lovely.
Which will be super nice in Bristol. Just been chilling, really, like, playing loads of games, which is fun. Yeah, it sounds not fun, but it is fun.
No, it does. Trade lives
Anything
with
that's
us.
a slight break from rugby when you're in it is fun.
Yeah, even when you put a pair of jeans on, you think, oh, I'm having fun.
You're like, whoa, who is this? Who am I?
Jess, I never thought that would pass your lips. Putting a pair of jeans on equals fun.
Yeah, obviously putting a pair of Adidas leggings on is also fun, obviously.
Even more fun.
Yeah, even more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously you guys spend so much time together there's going to be the different personalities mixing and melding. Who are a couple people on the team you need to keep an eye out for that's, going to prank you or, put you in a sticky situation you don't know how to get out of? Are there a couple of those lurking around the team that you need to? I know in the Canadian team, we like to do a scare cam. So you have to be pretty aware coming around any corner for the likes of Gabrielle Semp and Julia Schell. But for your camp, who do you guys have to kind of keep an eye on?
Probably like a Meg Jones and like a Hannah Bottoman.
Shock.
Speaking of that, I saw your race against bots, the 10 meter. That killed me. They did a 10 meter sprint. Yeah, Jess was like, "This is light work. Where do you want to do it? Let's go."
Yeah.
Bots was trying to wind her up.
She also was so confident that she was going to win. And I thought, honey, come on.
She's scared. She's scared. Jess is like, "Let's go. Find me a spot."
Like, okay, fine. Probably those two. We're not really it's really odd. I think you'll relate to this a lot. Like when you're in it, like things are really funny and like you'd be like, "Oh, that's so funny," or like that's so jokes. And then when someone asks you, you're like, "Oh, I actually can't really remember."
Yes.
Like it's such a weird, but it's like a weird, like I don't know.
Yeah, it's like you barely laugh every day with your best friends, and then you're like, and someone goes, "Oh my god, like what have you been doing?" You're like, "Oh, I don't really know." And but you are having fun. You are having.
It's low key like the cabin fever speaking of being locked up for so long. You're like, no, these people are so funny. Outsiders are like, are they?
There was like jokes on the bus on the way to training today, like probably not PG enough for me to say, but like, do you know what I mean? Like they're just funny. And then I think to myself, oh, do we have a laugh? And I think, no, we do have a laugh. Like I do laugh all the time.
Is this fun? Is this fun? So before you go, 50 caps, 53 tries, joint top try scorer in the Rugby World Cup so far. That's pretty big, Jess, because there's been some people ticking over on the scoreboard. The Red Roses record currently sits with Sue Day, who has 61. Does the competitive side of Jess, is she itching to take that tally?
My answer would be no, but it would be nice if it came. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
And I don't think, well, if it came in this World Cup, then brilliant.
Yeah.
But that's still, with my maths, 8 tries to go if it came, or 9 tries if it came in this World Cup, which, potentially if I got a hat trick in every game and if we make it to the final. But I think like it would be nice to, but again, like I'm not putting any pressure on myself.
There's no rush for this, Jess.
No rush, yeah. Like I didn't even know it was going to be a thing. Even like,
how have you not got that in your notebook, Jess? Ticking it away like Sue Day at the bottom.
The only way I knew how many tries I had was because the Red Roses Instagram had posted like the top 10 or something, and I was like, oh, is that how many I have? Like I didn't know. And then obviously when we played Samoa, everyone was like, oh, you get your 50 if you get 50 to try, and I was like, yeah, okay. And then obviously got it within a hat trick, and I was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. And like stuff like Ellie and Abby aren't far behind either, so you never know, they might make it past Sue Day's record before me.
Maybe
just keeping the eye on the prize. That's just kind of great to hear. That's the process of taking off game by game, and the tries come when they do, but to stay focused like that is pretty cool, even when you're chasing something so historic. So congrats. So exciting to keep following you and the team along.
For sure.
Thanks.
And you've got dinner waiting now.
I know.
Get those jeans on, honey.
Yeah, my jeans are on.
Treat yourself.
Should we all do yeehaws together?
Oh, yes. You lead it, gal.
Yeah. Okay,
let me ask Zoe if she wants to do it.
Yes.
Bring her in.
Do you want to do the yeehaw? No. She said no.
I could have absolutely have bet on that.
We got it. We'll make up for the one less.
She's doing her little like grin, when she goes, he.
Yeah, I do know. Thanks, Zoe, for being such a team player.
I know, such a sport she is.
Yeah.
Yeehaw! Thanks so much, Jess. It was so great to finally meet you formally. We're behind you and the Red Roses all the way for your quarterfinal. All the best against Scotland.
Woohoo! Okay then. So obviously, massive congrats to Jess on her 50th, and I think she got plenty of very good coverage for achieving that milestone in her career, and rightly so. But there is a player of the round that needs to be discussed. And there are a few names that are definitely contenders.
It seems to get harder and harder to pick this every week, but we also are seeing a lot of repeat names. And we're back to our youngster, Braxton Sorensen-McGee for the Black Ferns. How incredible was she? She's topping the points board at the moment with 38. Reminder, everyone, she's 18. Yeah. Let's come back to that reality.
What were you doing at 18? What were you doing at 18?
What were you doing? Yeah. She was involved. She got a hat trick amongst the 6 tries that were scored on the weekend. Incredible. She's being set up by the likes of Stacey Waka and Portia. She's just in and amongst all these legends, and she is amassing quite the name for herself. So we definitely would be remiss to not include her on this list. She's just so elusive on the edge. She puts boot to ball. Even when I think defenders think they've cornered her, she makes her way out of... She can step in a phone booth, I think, is one of my favorite sayings. She has just incredible footwork. Yeah, she's standing out to me. Are you seeing anything that you want to throw in the ring from her?
Put 3 tries past Ireland. And like, to be fair to Ireland, I think up front they defended very well, body in front. However, they were picked off at the edges, around the edges, and probably couldn't be a worse attacker to be picked off by in the edges. So, I mean, New Zealand on a whole, I think they carried extremely well, and they gave her that space to do so. But like you said, she's wriggling through these contact areas where a lot of people would go down or they'd get pushed into touch, and she just continues to fight, and then she's, you know, diving over the try line. So she's just such a talent to have Portia Woodman on one wing, and then this 18-year-old girl, you know, come up through and absolutely nail a starting shirt for the Black Ferns, maybe add. It's not just like, you know, somewhere where maybe rugby is not as popular in their nation. She is obviously had to fight there, and she has absolutely nailed down a position there. So what an exciting place for her to be in.
Incredible. Yep. She's up there for us. And then we have to return to France and how incredible they've been in their pool. And a big reason behind that has been their 9, Pauline Bourdon-Sansu. How good has she been? I think we've always known by, you know, following her in Six Nations and just seeing the energy that she's been able to bring in this team. It's, you know, her game is a quick tap. It's getting around her forward pack and, you know, finding those small balls back on the inside, setting up, you know, her big forwards to take on, you know, lots of meters going forward. She's always been that elusive player. Like, for you as a 9, what stands out for why she's on this list today? What has she done to earn that kind of recognition?
Well, we've said before in previous podcasts about how everything she has is a threat. So it's boot, it's vision, it's handling, it's her running game. She is like the ultimate threat. And, you know, she's still pulling off moves that countries have defended. They do a classic move where they pass, if it's a midfield scrum, they go right, she loops around after the pass, and she still manages to create something from that. It's not a new move for France, but she plays this loop play, and because she's such a threat, whether she punts it through, whether she chips over the top, whether she runs it, or whether she passes it, again, in France, where maybe they do, we all say it, the jouet of France, it's the fact that she can have so much control and so much input in such a creative way. I think that's why, you know, she's just such a poignant player to have on your squad.
She really like flourishes in that style of play and brings it herself. Like you're saying, it's off a strike play where there's like infinite numbers of like permutations based on what she wants to do. Is it, you know, that like float the pass out the back? Is it the show and go? Is it, you know, release somebody back on the inside? And she is the one orchestrating that because she has that vision and that, you know, that decision-making IQ that a lot of 9s and directors out there have. So yeah, great to see from her. And she's definitely one of our ones to watch going forward and a standout from this last round.
And just in time for quarters.
Yep.
Like she's ready to go. And then another player that has shone throughout this World Cup, I think it goes without saying that this Scotland team has probably performed the best that I have ever seen, probably in the last decade, truly. Like they, for whatever reason, they have come to this World Cup and they've gone, lock in, we are performing here. And Fran McGee has taken that, you know, up a notch. She has scored in every game that she's played. And that in itself is like, to get a tally like that in a World Cup, may we add, it's not like Six Nations. This is like poignant of women's rugby, and to dot down every game is just so impressive.
It is. And I think I always say, or a lot of people like to say, like, that's wingers doing their job, but it is so hard when teams defend so well. They push you to the edge. They force you into the most, suffocating situations to get over that try line. And she's delivering game after game. She's making that last step back inside. She's, supporting on the inside super well. She's shown variation in how she can get over that line, which makes her so challenging to defend. And I think it was the same in this last game. And it'll be interesting to see what she brings against England. How do you see her skill set, finding success for Scotland?
It's going to be difficult for Scotland because they are going to have to front up, and the forwards are going to have to front up big time against England in their quarterfinals in order to allow, the weapons to be unleashed and keep her tally ticking over. So it's definitely going to be a huge team effort this week. And, I hope for her that she can keep her tally up because it's just such an impressive thing. We were lucky enough to be at the game.
Were we ever? What a day.
What a day. Brighton, you nailed it.
It was like a blazing summer day.
Everyone just having al fresco.
We had some
lunches.
Men busking in the streets.
Yep. Everyone
found their Instagram. They have a great little brother duo musician scene going on.
Yeah, everyone was just in good vibes. Everyone was wearing, pretty much England shirts. There were, the odd grouping of Aussie Wallaroo fans, but like everyone was on good vibes. So we couldn't go without saying that another player that we wanted to bring to the table, Kelsey Clifford, was fantastic in the game. She came on pretty early with Hannah Bottoman. I believe she had something wrong with her back.
That's what I've been hearing.
So hopefully she is okay. And but Kelsey stepped into those boots pretty well. I think dotting down 2 tries.
I believe so. Yeah, I think that's a name where after the game, me and you are obviously doing our little chit chat yap, and I'm like, you know what? I'd put Kelsey's name forward for player of the game. She stepped into a position where you pretty quickly have to get the lay of the land, talking to your front row buddies, like, okay, what's going on in the scrums here?
Yeah.
What are these, what kind of pictures are we seeing? You have to adjust to that environment. You're thrown. I always like to watch people's first involvement in the lineout because that's an opportunity for you to get kind of frazzled, but she just got in, got the message, like executed that perfectly. And it was just really cool to see her not feel her way into that game, but be like, nope, I could start for this team. And wow, did she put her mark down on that game? Yeah, scoring 2 tries, we believe. Just getting through so much work around the park. I think I've said this almost every week on this show, but she is not afraid to put her head in some pretty uncomfortable places, carry hard, just that brand that we expect from the Red Roses. So yeah, shout out to Kelsey. She stepped up in a really big way to fill some big shoes that were missing pretty early on. And yeah, hoping Bots is okay moving forward.
So we're now into the business end. People are going to be kicked out now.
Goodbye.
Okay? You will be on a plane home, or if you're a home nation, I guess you can linger around a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But quarterfinals are among us. Bristol and is it just Bristol?
Exeter.
Oh, and Exeter.
Sandy Park.
Okay, so we're in the southwest.
Ashton Gate. What a venue. And I'm excited.
Are you going?
I'm going to go to the Canada-Australia game.
I knew you would.
Looking forward. No,
okay, maybe I might jump in. I don't know yet.
No, I think, they didn't pick these venues by mistake. It's so cool to see these parts of the country just light up. I haven't had the opportunity to play at Ashton Gate too many times. I think we had one Friday Night Lights game there a couple of years ago, but such a cool spot.
Yep.
It'll be buzzing. And yeah, that's so neat to see the kind of cities get highlighted and say, make a weekend of it and check it out. So yeah, I'm buzzing to go. But our first one, quarterfinal 1, New Zealand, South Africa. That one is now, we're taking us back to Exeter, Sandy Park.
Yes. Okay.
Not my favorite field, but
no,
they've taken
I don't know anyone who actually loves going to play there.
It's definitely like a character kind of field. Yeah. It's like literally sandy. It's kind of like domed in the middle.
Windy. There's a wind tunnel that you play with them on one half of the game and you play very much against on the other half.
So yeah, big gut check game, character check game. But
I mean, New Zealand are going in with a lot of confidence. 40-0 against an Irish team, going into South Africa, who lost to France in the last game. I personally think New Zealand have showcased both the forward pack. I think they moved incredibly well around the park. Very dominant carries, moved the ball, were able to pull it back when they needed to. And then you just unleash like one of the best back threes in the world. I just don't think South Africa have the nous to defend that. However, do they have the brawn? Absolutely. Physically, they confront up big time. So I think, New Zealand just like, keep yourself safe.
Yeah, I think both are teams that are capable of such physical performances, but I think you're right. New Zealand have that more polished ability to finish and front up physically and then release the edge, release their really dangerous centers, whoever it is. South Africa, what a campaign they've had. They've made history, but by no means are they like hanging up their boots. They're so excited to be in this position. They're going to be throwing the kitchen sink at New Zealand. It's whoever shows up better on the day kind of rugby, and that is the most exciting. It's right then and there. You put your history aside, you put all your pride in the jersey, and we know that there's probably no prouder team than South Africa with their history and the mark they're making in the game, backed by an amazing men's side. That, we said a couple of weeks ago, Sia Khaleesi is rallying the country behind them and getting them excited about what these women can put together. So it will be, fight to the death.
There's been some really good media around it as well. I think Rugby Pass put up that there's a double header this weekend. So the All Blacks are playing, obviously, South Africa, the Springboks and the women are doing the exact same. And I just think that's such a nice thing, because I think for, generations that whole like women South Africa playing rugby just has been overshadowed by obviously such a strong men's side for their nation. And now, there's a real highlight of the two countries coming together and I guess backing each other up and giving the limelight to the women now and saying like, we're in this together. We're both going to battle with New Zealand this weekend. And I just thought it was really nice that it was pointed out, and so well done guys for doing that for the women's game.
So exciting to see how both teams come out of that. But that's quarterfinal one, and then we move on to the second, which is
your little babies,
my Canadian gals versus Australia, which you have a connection to.
Yes, true.
And that's at Ashton Gate in Bristol.
So again, Aussies are going to take full advantage of the good coffee scene in Bristol.
Yep.
And I guess Canadians will as well. Like you'll
we love a good flat white.
Yeah. To be fair, Canada put up a good fight against Scotland, but basically me and Boda were at this World Rugby event and we couldn't put the phone down because we were watching the Canada-Scotland game, and we were like, hang on a second. Canada, like, you're being shaken around here a bit. Like, Scotland were incredibly physical and direct. They were parked in Canada's 22 for a little while. Canada did pull away, but, prep going into a quarterfinal, they're going up against Australia, who did give England like a run for their money. I know the scoreline did essentially get stretched out towards, middle to end, but it's going to be a challenge. I do think it's probably one of the most evenly matched games we've seen in a little while. Do I think Canada have, again, that little bit more nous in attack? But Australia also have some really, really good attacking threats.
I think they'll take so much confidence, like you said, from the start, maybe the first 20 minutes against England. We were sitting there watching them saying, okay, this set piece is functioning super well. They've, Caitlin House, the fullback, the youngster playing with all the confidence, was pinning England in their 22. They were playing in the right territory. Unfortunately, they didn't come out on the right side points-wise too many times based on their entries. But wow, they looked super confident keeping England down there, and I think they're going to have that same kind of mentality against Canada. I think they're matched in a sense on how like athletic their forward packs are and their set piece. I think we saw Michaela Leonard and Caitlin Leaney really nailing down the line out and looking super confident. They had a great platform to play off against England, so they'll be wanting to bring that against Canada as well. The competitions in the line out are going to be pretty exciting, I think. There's so many long arms and legs between those two packs. Like the locks, the second rows, the back rows, like there's going to be some awesome competition, I think. And both teams, I think, really take a lot of pride in that. So that will be exciting.
And then we're into France, Ireland. Ireland obviously licking their wounds from a 40-0 result against the Black Ferns. And France, beating South Africa, and some really great tries from them. I'm going to say that Ireland could well come back with like that pure emotional, almost like that revenge on how they performed. They won't want to back out now. They will know as a unit that semi-finals are in reach. And this is the thing with knockouts. It's so cliche to say. I'm sure your dad has a really good cliche saying about something like this, but
let me hear it.
Yeah, no, all I'm going to say is anything can happen on finals day. Which is true. Like anyone can come out. However, we have got France who are on the winning side of things and Ireland who came off a heavy loss. But saying that, I think Ireland's upfront D was actually pretty decent. They just got picked off quite severely on the edges. So I'm sure defence coaches and players will be looking at that and going, how can we not get picked off like that? Because there was some... Obviously, they're up against some of the best in the world, like truly some of the best in the world with Braxton, Portia, and so on. But that doesn't mean that... I mean, France have an incredible back three as well. So they're going to have to tighten that up. But they have got that emotional charge into this game, I think.
For sure. And I think we said it a couple of weeks ago where they've been left out of this tournament for a few years. And again, they're trying to stick in it and fight as best they can. They came out in some really cool maroon and white kit.
Yeah.
I barely recognized them last game. And they're fighting. And it's just such like a reinvigorated side, I think. Again, we know that it's been unfortunate for them to not have Aoife Wafer, but the back row, the entire pack has just rallied in a really big way. And they've put together such strong performances. Grace Moore is looking really confident. Hogan, I think those girls are just really getting into their own, and we're seeing them challenge teams in really different ways, and that's such an exciting thing for teams to be able to score in different ways, and I think they've done that in heaps. But tall order against France, who will want to go quick. They're going to have to be so alive on balls going into touch. They will want to do those quick lineouts. They will want to do the quick tap before you know it. Sansu is like under your arm and 10 meters away. Like they will have to be so alert, and hopefully they'll have a little bit of that in their, non-dressers playing and training in that way in training to help the girls get aligned with that style of play and get really ready for that. But yeah, that'll be such a cool matchup. I feel like those are two teams we don't get to see that often. Obviously, they're finding each other in Six Nations, but it'll be cool to see how they face off.
And then the last one, the big one, England, Scotland.
Another Six Nations showdown.
Yeah. Scotland obviously on the back of a good campaign so far, a very good campaign. Like I said, probably the best they've played for years and years from attacking unit. England have won with big old score lines each week. They're building. They've got depth in every single position, like we were saying earlier with Kelsey Clifford literally coming on much sooner than probably planned and taking away like a player of the match performance. Scotland, they have done exceptionally well, but that depth is what England obviously thrive off. And I think for Scotland, they need to score first. They need to score quickly, and they've just got to put like foot on throat and not let England in their half pretty much, as best they can. They don't want to be playing in their half because England's driving maul is just not one to be reckoned with.
For sure. It's such a tough thing to come up against, and they'll know from that history of Six Nations that they will punish them if they take penalties in really anywhere over half. We have Zoe, and her ability to pin teams deep at their half is just absolutely threatening. Such a skill from her. I think we've seen in this Scotland camp, just coming back to your point about depth, there's been a couple front row injuries, and it's been great to see one of my old teammates, Christine Belial, who's actually Canadian but qualifies to play for Scotland, has been called into the camp. So while that's super exciting for her, you do acknowledge that I think it's 2 players that are out from the Scotland front row that have been a really well-oiled machine. So that'll be something to consider, how they'll pick themselves up and make those combinations click heading into this game against well-drilled favorites in the Red Roses. So exciting to see how that one turns out as well.
Okay, so we're going to try not to sit on the fence on this one.
We like it up there.
And I know.
I do.
No, you love it. And you're very good at giving it all of your rationale as well. She will give every bit of detail.
I'll write you an essay and not pick a side.
So we have New Zealand, South Africa. Mm-hmm. And the winner of that will then play either Canada or Australia. Your predictions?
I see in my crystal ball a Pac 4 rematch. Mm-hmm. I think New Zealand is too dominant to be stopped right now. They're in great form. They're just clicking. And I think South Africa will throw anything and everything they can at them. But I just think on the day, they've shown time and time again that they've been too clinical for whoever's on the other side. So I see that. And then on the other side of that super athletic, again, Pacific battle, I do think Canada will come out on top. Both really great functioning set pieces. They have electric backs in the likes of Desiree Miller. We have our Julia Schell slicing and dicing, carving it up, Flo Simons. I just think Canada's similar to New Zealand, just really managing their pool well.
Yeah.
I think they'll come out on the other side of that game. And I think that one has the potential to be, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but that'll be an incredible semifinal if it is the case. The last two times they've met up at Pac 4, it was a tie this past year. And I think Canada will feel a bit hard done by. They were winning up until literally the last play of the game, and New Zealand pulls a classic New Zealand. Oh, it's time to win now. And they score a try at the death to tie at 27-all. The year before, Canada won and beat them to win Pac 4. So, if that ends up being that semi, wow, what a tasty game that's gonna
agree.
make.
That's like, it's almost like the final before the final, really. If that happens,
that's
a
whole other can of worms.
Yeah.
I'm writing history before anything's happened.
Yeah.
We'll go to, I'm getting too excited. So we'll go to the other side and I'll let you yap on who you think is going to make the other semifinal. So who's coming out of quarterfinal 3 and 4?
Okay, so we've got the France-Ireland game, and as mentioned, I think France just have the edge. They've just won that little bit more. Have they had a tougher pool? So, and I think that will definitely put you instead. Also, not to forget, like, France missed out on the final in the last World Cup by that kick.
A single point, 25-24.
And I think that penalty that was being kicked, I think England were there thinking, we're out. We are out of the World Cup, and they weren't. France will want to rectify that. So I just think on an emotionally charged, they have a statement to put out to the world. And I just don't think Ireland have necessarily had, the same run. They beat Spain in the pool, but that in itself was quite a tough match. Yes, they beat Japan. However, Japan still did put some points past them, and we're talking a whole different kettle of fish here with France being the opposition. So that's why I'm going with France. And then I'm backing the Red Roses. I think their form is just too strong for Scotland. However, again, anything can happen. Scotland are definitely on their roll, and I think they will really, it's like the ultimate, isn't it? You're playing the best in the world. Why would you not throw the kitchen sink at this one? Like, you want to win this one. If you beat England in this, whatever happens after, like, you break a huge record that the Red Roses are currently holding with their win streak. And
31 games?
31.
31.
And you get into a semi-final. For Scotland, that's just probably way further ahead than what they dreamed of during this campaign. So I'm going for a France-England semi.
We're off the fence. We made decisions. We're big girls.
Yeah.
we made choices.
Okay, so to that little social feature that we've been including the last couple of weeks in the podcast, and it's those clips from social media which I guess amplify what is happening on the pitch, what's happening off the pitch, and bringing those personalities to life that rugby definitely holds dear within its community. And we're going to start off with one of the biggest personalities of the rugby community, with Ruby Tui. And for those that haven't seen it, it's an incredible, powerful piece. And basically, Ruby, despite not having her boots on and on the turf, she is embracing every inch of that haka, and she's still one of them. You know, like their whole thing with the Black Ferns shirt is that you are family. You are every inch, you know, a teammate, whether you're on or off, if you have put that jersey on. And, you know, Ruby is clearly styling that out with a lot of passion.
Isn't she just like, we see her like pounding her chest and just like hyping up the girls from however many meters high in the stands? It's just, like you said, that black jersey, that ceremony that they perform before games, it just transcends the sport, and it's about that sisterhood, and that's how they talk about each other, you know, 7s and 15s, whichever code we're talking about. That's always how they talk about each other in pre-game, post-game interviews. You can just tell it's I'm willing to die for you vibe that most teams, you know, I think embody that. But wow, it's so cool to see that before a game, just kind of evoking that history of their ancestors and what it means to go to battle with each other. And yeah, to have her, you know, miss out on a tournament that she probably thought she was a shoo-in. A lot of the world would think she's a shoo-in, but for her to join in that and say, "Now, girls, I'm still with you. I'm just on the other side of a mic right now," is just so inspiring, and it's not going to be the last we see of her. So
for sure,
well done, gal. Love that, Ruby. So the next one we have is another chill-evoking video. We talked about how exciting it's been to have Sia Khaleesi and the likes of South Africa really rally behind their women, and Rugby Pass has nailed it again with a video of their equivalent of their bomb squad replacing the front row. And just, yeah, let's talk through this. I guess we're seeing them, you know, getting those last second jitters out. They're, you know, lacing up their boots, getting the scrum caps fitted. And these are some powerful gals that are about to step on the field and make an impact. It's one of those things where you can just imagine the girls on the field go, "Oh, like, no." Yeah. They're like ready to go. These gals are just frothing at the mouth to make a hit, you know, make an involvement, dominate that first scrum. This is, just forward.
And Rugby Pass are just like, Rugby Pass are smashing this narrative. Like, it's such a powerful piece. The editing, I would say, is spot on. You know, like, we are talking about this nation that there's been so much disparity, you know, for centuries within this. And now you're embodying, you know, the absolute crux of what it is to be a Springbok and to be a South African rugby player representing your nation. You know, it's one sport that so many of those athletes have spoken about being the glue to their nation. And it's one thing that really, really brings their whole community together, if anything. So for them, it's not to compare, but it's to say, no, you're with the best in the world still. Like, you are part of this whole rugby family, and we want to show the world that too, you know. And I think, again, it's just putting the women on a plate that you are here, you always have been here, but the world is now turning its head, and I love that. That's what gives me chills, that the women now are
just gave me chills.
Yeah, but they're on this stage. They have always been on this stage. It's just the world has turned its head. And big shout out to the Rugby World Cup for giving women this platform.
They're just making it impossible for the world to not recognize these teams, and for, you know, teams to join the likes of England and USA with their Alona Mars and whoever it is. Like, we can't ignore the personalities and these teams. And yeah, Rugby Pass and Rugby World Cup and whoever's pumping out this amazing content. It's just awesome to be able to see these countries that we don't get to see until a tournament of this caliber rolls around. But now they've been, you know, spotted, and people are going to be excited to follow them.
And finally, another Rugby Pass for our dear little Canadians. And I'm going to let you run with this because
we are watching Asia Hogan-Rochester, who
has one of the coolest names.
She really does, double barrel last name. And she backs it up with some really cool, like, personality that she brings to the game. She's the one that you're going to see with the glitter, the eye jewels, the tooth gems. She is just, a vibrant player. Katie, my twin, told me, I didn't know about this, but apparently we crossed over slightly in university. So as my old ass was getting out of the university system, she was just joining, and Katie's like, no, she was one to watch. She was at a smaller university that didn't do super well in our league, but she was always tearing it up the edge. So I'm not sure how I missed her at that point, but wow, the world has not missed her here. And in this video, we see her getting an offload from Dalika Menon, just absolute Canadian legend. She's up there in cap numbers. So for Asia to be getting that ball from her must be like a pinch me moment for her first World Cup. And she makes no mistake doing exactly what she's meant to do on the edge. She beats one defender. She, in true 7 style, leaps and kind of like jumps through the second, and probably like 10 meters out from her scoring, she's already has the biggest grin on her face. Love this from you. When I saw this blow up, I'm like, this is so cool. So
she's
cool
giving
to see.
Sha'Carri Richardson, the USA
Sha'Carri
sprinter.
Richardson, yes. And, she is with like
Sha'Carri,
nails.
not Sha'Carri. Sha'Carri Richardson, like more personalities like that. The game needs superstars. I know people have, blue in the face with Alona, and rightly so. She has created such a platform, but like more people like this bringing personality to the game is only going to attract different walks of life, basically, and girls that can identify with these characters, whether it is your tooth gem or your glitter or how you style your hair or whatever it might be. But this is exactly the player that I think, when given the world stage and given these amazing reels to just throw out to the world and say, look, this is who's doing X, Y, and Z. And I think that's what the game needs. So
I think her promo video for the World Cup was her doing her equivalent of like a LeBron like chalk blow. It was like her with her glitter. I was like, that is so cool. She's really leaning into that brand, and it's so cool to see. She's done it on the sevens circuit, and now she's like, well, this is how I do my look good, feel good, play good kind of vibe. So I'm bringing it here on the biggest stage in the world, and I'm gonna score a couple of cool tries while doing it, while looking good. So shout out to my Canadian gal Asia. So before we sign off, we have to give our shout outs of the week, and thanks so much. Keep sending them in. We're so excited to recognize all our Rugby Rodeo crew out there. So very first up, we have Santi, who smashed his very first session at U8s. I wish I started
under
that young.
8s, by the way, for us English talkers.
Oops, my bad.
U8s, under 8s.
That's like when you play soccer, you're like, you 15, you whatever. And he said he was trying to emulate Ellie, and more of that. We love that. Keep it up.
She has had such an influence on like young boys.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them like, oh my God, she just is so cool. So fair play.
Why don't they want to be like us?
Yeah, I know, like I have been traipsing this league for a few years as well. Okay, so shout out to Izzy and Freya, who both scored tries in their debut for Anik ladies. And may that be the first of many girls.
Last but not least, we're going to shout out Sophie Chalmers, who scored her very first try for Dunfermline U18s, under 18s, in the weekend that had just passed on the wing. So well done.
So that's another week. The pool stages are finished in the World Cup, and we're heading straight into the business side of things.
That's why I showed up as academic.
Yes,
today.
that's why the glasses are here. Like, we're not messing around now.
Not anymore.
So thanks again for listening. I'm sure next week will be a hell of a lot to talk about. So
spicy.
In the meantime, yeehaw!